Hello everyone, welcome back to Brink of Speed. Today, my E-Ray has hit 1,500 miles. I'm gonna do a review for you of how this thing has done over the last 1,500 miles, and also let you know why I still don't wanna buy a Z06. Let's go. This isn't a competition between the E-Ray and the Z06, but you definitely can't do this with the Z06. So like I said, this is not a competition between the E-Ray and the Z06. It's just something that is pretty neat about the E-Ray and is one of my points as to why maybe the E-Ray is a little bit cooler, just a little bit cooler than the Z06. So this is definitely something you're not going to be doing with the Z06. I'm going to put it in the loudest mode, which is track. And no matter what gear you're in, there's no drone sound. And then the other thing is, if you have it in tour mode, the ride is much smoother than the Z06. All right guys, so like I said in the car, this is not a video to put down the Z06 in any way, shape, or form. This is a video to help those out who are on the fence. If you are someone who is just 100%, I want the LT6, I can't do without that high revving flat plane crank V8 to 8,600 RPM, this car is not for you, okay? Or if you're the type that wants to go to the track all the time and you really want to know which one is going to be better for you at the road course racetrack, this car's not for you either. The Z06 beat the E-Ray at VIR by 8 seconds. So, and I've driven them both on a road course. This car's not for you. Minus those two things, if you're on the fence about whether to buy an E-Ray or a Z06, especially because they're right around the same money. I mean, this car was $131,500, and you can easily get a nicely spec'd Z06 for that same exact amount. I believe this is the car for 99.9% of the population. So like I showed you in the car, this thing has 100% usable power. Unlike the Z06, where you've got all of this power, but rear wheel drive. So there's a lot of times where you're going to spin the tires, you're going to get loose in that Z06. This car, unless you take the traction control off, or let's say you're on a wet pavement or you're on a asphalt area. I mean, we've got oily asphalt around here in Texas. If that's the case, then you're definitely going to get a little bit squirrely in this car. But almost 100% of the time, this thing's just going to grip and go, unlike the Z06. Now, as you know, this also has the wide body that the Z06 has. So it looks identical to a Z06. There's only two things that help you tell it apart from a Z06. Number one is the E-Ray badge on the side. And number two, if you look over here, the exhaust is going to be the dual exhaust on the outside of the car instead of the quad exhaust in the center of the car. So those are the only two things that set it apart from the Z06 as far as looks go. Everything else is exactly the same. So you're getting all the good of the Z06 except for the sound of the engine and none of the bad. For the longest time, I was all about Z06 only. Z06, Z06, Z06. That's all I wanted. And I thought that's what I truly wanted after I got rid of this. Obviously, I'd love to own a Z06 at one point in my life. But for now, this is my new love. This is the car that I have fallen in love with. And it is the very best Corvette that I've ever owned. I've had a C5 Z06, a C6 Z06, a C7 Z06, two Stingrays, one coupe, one convertible, both C8s. One was a 2020, the other one was a 2023, and now a 2024 E-Ray. Hands down, this beats them all. Hands down. So again, if you're on the fence about whether to buy a Z06 or an E-Ray, Jesse Awuji said it when we did our video together with his E-Ray, that this is the all-around best Corvette they've ever built in Chevrolet, and he's correct. So again, I've already pointed out it's all-wheel drive. So even in the wet weather, I drove this home from Austin a couple weeks ago, and it was pouring rain on me, and this thing handles phenomenal in the pouring rain. Obviously, you just put it in wet weather mode, and it does even better, but I wasn't scared at all driving this in the wet because it's all-wheel drive. But the carbon ceramic brakes, I mean, how can you argue with that? I understand it causes the price to raise by about almost $10,000 for this car, which, you know, a lot of us guessed it would be in the low 90s, and it would have been if they wouldn't have added carbon ceramic brakes. But they did, and I'm very happy for it. My wheels are dirty right now, but they're not dirty from brake dust. They're dirty from just rain. I haven't washed it great since I got back from Austin. I've ran it through a touchless wash. I've been so busy with life, work, you name it. And there is no brake dust. I mean, virtually no brake dust. So for Chevrolet to give us that on a E-Ray and not a Z06 automatically is big. But then the Z06 would have cost $10,000 more base price, and that would have sucked. So that's just one kind of minor but kind of big point at the end of this video that I wanted to make, that you're getting so much with the E-Ray, and you can price these things. You can get a 1LZ for $110, $112. So quite a bit cheaper than a Z06 if you want to go that way and have all of this crazy power. 655 horsepower, 590 foot-pounds of torque. And let me tell you, you feel all of that all the time. It is crazy good. So guys, I almost made a huge YouTube mistake. I almost left here without telling you about how my car has been in the 1,500 miles that I put on it, especially since I had that check engine light. So I'll make this very quick, but it's been great. I haven't had a single problem, knock on wood, problem-free, just excellent driving, nothing scary happening. The car has been phenomenal. It's fully broken in now. I mean fully, because it's at 1,500 miles. It sounds great. It feels actually faster than it did at 500 miles. So that's good news. So much fun to drive. Every mile is a big smile on my face. So I'm loving it. I cannot wait to put more miles on it. It's been fantastic. So 1,500 miles in, it's good to go. All right, so that's gonna wrap this video up. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the view from my drone. I try and switch things up so it makes it a little more interesting for you guys. Again, I wanted to make this video for a few reasons. Number one, so that anybody out there who truly really is on the fence about whether to buy a Z06 or an E-Ray has something to go off of that's not just some, you know, big giant YouTuber giving their opinion about this car. This is me. I've lived with it now for 1,500 miles, and I'm telling you right now, it is amazing. Number two, I also wanted to let you know that this car is still very difficult to get. So that could be a problem for you. Even if you do want this instead of a Z06, you may be waiting a lot longer for this car. They've only made 795 of these E-Rays. It's a big shame. But I really do believe the reason why GM is doing this is because I think they're a little bit timid about this car. And as they should be. The world is not really ready for the E-Ray yet. They're wanting to see the world talk about this car more. They want people like myself to get out and do videos like this and explain why this is something that you don't want to pass up. Obviously, the ZR1 is going to be bonkers, and if you're waiting for that, good luck. Hopefully you're on a list and you've been on one for a long time, because it's going to take that to get one of those cars. This is a little bit different. I think once maybe 2025 starts, these are going to be easier to get. I think they'll make more of them, and it will make more sense to go after this car than the ZR1, because then you're going to have an even bigger problem than what you have with the Z06, because now you have 400 more horsepower and still rear-wheel drive only. So that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you have not joined the wonderful Brink of Speed community, please do so by smashing that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you guys out on the road.